the stands. Pure Coys, everybody raise your hands. Pure Coys, pure Coys, pure Coys.
Now, welcome to Pure Coys. No Beyond the Lane tonight. We are having a week off because there are no games, but me and Dan, we just couldn't keep away from each other, could we, mate? We had to do another show tonight.
Hi, Nige. How you doing, buddy? Hope you're good, man. Big up to everybody watching. Hope everyone's keeping well tonight. I see Matty's in here. Hello, Matty. Hope you're good, man. Hope you've had a good week.
Yeah, hi Matty, how's it going, mate? Thanks for coming in. You are the first of many, we hope. But yeah, my week's been all right so far. How's yours been, mate?
Yeah, it's not been bad. Busy, you know. Had a problem with the front door. The handle broke.
Sure.
So managed to get it sorted today, which is a bit of a relief. But yeah, man, just same old working, you know, responsibilities and stuff. But no, it's good to be back. Good to be back on here talking Spurs. We've had a couple of weeks off and we're ready to go.
We are. I had problems today as well. Evening, mate. My phone, like I've literally had it a month, and the screen's cracked already. I'm just like, man.
How'd that happen?
I don't know how. I don't know. I remember kind of dropping it once, but it was on carpet. So it's like, how does that break? But this is what we got to start on before we start anywhere. It is this. What do you make of this? It's come out of the blue, isn't it?
So I don't know about this. I know there was rumours. So has something come out in the last hour or two?
So basically, yeah, if I can read it out to you, if I can see it, it's Thomas Tuchel has completed the agreement to become new England manager. Terms agreed, contract to be signed with an official statement expected soon. So it looks like it's Tuchel for England.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. I think he's an experienced manager, good tactically. He has a lot of passion within him. I know he likes to fall out with a lot of people, so that may be a problem. But I'm a bit surprised with the FA really employing somebody like Tuchel because he's not a yes man. Definitely not. He's definitely no Gareth Southgate.
No, this is yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. I think it's a really good signing for England. I think it's about time we got someone, you know, who won't take any crap and will pick the players hopefully that he wants to pick and won't be won't have to answer to the FA all the time and will do his own thing. And like you say, he's got a bit of bite about him, hasn't he? He's somebody that I think if I'm an England player and I'm walking into the dressing room and I see Tuchel, I'm like, yes, I want to play. Don't get me wrong, he's a bit of a knob, but that's what you want as your manager. He's the kind of manager you hate playing against, but if he's your manager, you love him. So yeah, I'm well happy.
I'm a little bit disappointed in some ways though, because you know, I'm not the biggest fan of Ange at the moment. And if things did continue to slide for Spurs, then I was hoping that maybe Tuchel would be the one to come in to kind of help us this season. But it is what it is. Yeah, he's gonna manage England. Interesting. Look, I don't know when he starts. Do you know when, Nige? Is there any dates at all? Anybody in the chat? Is it just straight after the next international break in November?
I mean, it's not even been announced yet, has it, properly? This is, but I would think it would be ASAP, surely. If he's coming in, they're going to announce it within the next couple of days. I would think it would be straight away. Or you'd hope so, anyway.
So this is a bit of history now, isn't it? What Matty said. Is he the first German manager to manage England?
I think he might be, actually. Yeah. Well, let's hope he, gives us a German mentality. Because yeah, they've been pretty good over finals over the recent years, haven't they? But yeah, I didn't notice you had a Spurs top on. Nice.
Yeah, I need to adjust your camera a bit so people can see.
Yeah, I need to.
A little bit. There you go.
Need to I need to purchase a Spurs shirt from somewhere.
It's an old one.
But
An old one.
yeah, most of mine are like on the wall. Apart from one, I bought like the first ever Spurs shirt I got when I was like 7. When I bought that, but I got it in a large, and it just drowns me. So yeah, I don't wear it very often. But it'd be nice to have Spurs back on it weekend. International football is about as boring as it gets. As much as it's nice to have Tuchel in charge, it will be nice to have Spurs back at the weekend. How are you feeling about it?
Oh, I was going to say, Nige, have you missed them?
I have actually. I think it's always terrible when you go into international break after a defeat, and especially a defeat like that. You just want to play again straight away, don't you, to get that win and get that form back again. But yeah, I can't wait. West Ham, love it.
So, yeah, you asked me how I'm feeling.
Yeah.
Well, it's a good question. I can't say I'm super excited for Spurs being back. I mean, obviously, it's great. It's great for us to talk about, preview the West Ham game. It's a derby. It's a derby
Yeah.
match. I know we're going to get into it, but just quickly, our results against West Ham in the last 3 or 4 seasons haven't been great. I don't know if you know, Nige, that I think we've like lost 4 out of 6 or something like that.
Have we? I don't know that. Let's have a look, see if I can get these up. We can't really see it, can we, very well?
If you enlarge your screen, and then if you go to about 2 or 3 slides in, maybe number 5, and that will tell you the last results.
Hang on.
Slide number 5.
Slide number 5.
There you go.
Yeah, can you see that?
Yeah, I can see it.
So head to head, yeah. It's not been great, has it?
But one of them was a club friendly though, so I don't know really why that's in there. After I think it was before Ange started.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was actually a game we played really well in. But still lost. But yeah, our form's not been amazing against West Ham, but I do still expect us to win the game. Let's have a look, see what else you got in the team's form at the moment. West Ham, I mean, they've only won 1 of their last 5, so they're not on the greatest of form. Whereas we've only lost 1 of the last 5, so it's kind of the opposite. And Tottenham at home, you kind of expect to win, don't you?
Yeah, you do, but it's not going to be straightforward, Nige, because West Ham. Do you remember the game last season when we played pretty well and we made those 2 mistakes in the back and gifted West Ham goals, and West Ham defended very well that night.
Yeah.
And I can easily see it happening again, to be honest, Nige. Yeah, what do you think?
I kind of expect us to win at home, to be honest. I think we are a better side than them. I don't think West Ham have quite clicked into gear yet. But yeah, I'm expecting 3 points. I'm not going to lie. But I don't know. We'll see. It's going to be a tough game, like you say. But I think we have, being at home, I'm expecting 3 points, and I literally cannot find my screen. But yeah, I'm expecting 3 points. There you go. I'm back.
What I was going to say is if you look at us this season so far, it was on the PowerPoint, but don't worry, I'll just read it out. So 7 matches played. We've had 3 wins, 3 losses. We scored 14 goals, conceded 8, and we got 2 clean sheets. Yeah. And what are we in the league? What, 10th? I think.
9th, I think.
9th. And then you look at West Ham, 7 played, 2 wins, 3 losses, 10 goals scored and 11 conceded, and they've had 1 clean sheet. So we're not far away. I think they're only a couple of points behind us, Nige.
They are, and if you look at them, you actually look at their form. Their away form is better than their home form. They haven't been great at home, but away they're not. I don't think they've lost away yet, have they? Or they might have lost one, but I think they've drew a couple. And so yeah, it's going to be a tough game. From looking at West Ham stats, they tend to be more of a second half team, whereas Spurs are more of a first half team. So I think it's going to be a kind of game where Spurs have to almost win the game by half time, because we all know what Spurs have been like in the second half of most of our games this season. You know, we've struggled to keep up the intensity, the press, and Ange doesn't seem to like making subs early. So I think it's a game we need to be 2 or 3 up by half time. And if we're not, I do fear that West Ham will come back into the game, because they do tend to score more goals in the second half than the first half. And they tend to concede a lot more in the first half than the second half as well. So it's quite an interesting stat. It kind of works in our favour a little bit. I am expecting Spurs to win. You know, West Ham are a dangerous side. They've got some good players, of course, and it is their cup final. But I think at home, I'm expecting 3 points. I don't know about you.
Yeah, we must win. We must win the game. It's like what you said, Nige. You've got to put the chances away. Knowing this Spurs team, we do need to be 2-3 goals up to be kind of more, not just 2-3 goals, to be confident of a victory or a result. It's just how Ange plays. That's what he's decided to do. He just wants to outscore teams. So we must at home. West Ham, they had a bit of an iffy start. Is that a lot down to the new manager coming in? Maybe slightly change of style. Nigel, have you watched any of West Ham this season?
I've seen a couple of their games. I think they've huffed and puffed. They've looked good in patches. You know, Kudos gets on the ball and you think something could happen. But I think, like most teams, you know, I think we could probably say that of 12 or 13 teams in the league so far, they've not quite clicked yet. You know, they made a lot of new signings in the summer, and it's bedding them all in. And I think they're going to get better this season. I think as the season goes on, they get stronger. But whether they have enough to beat us on Saturday, the only thing that concerns me about Saturday is it's a 12:30 kickoff. And I do kind of feel that watching Spurs on a Saturday morning, I kind of feel they're never quite at it. Do you know what I mean? I always feel like they're not quite ready for 12:30 kickoffs. Maybe it's just me, but I always feel Spurs aren't at their best when they have midday kickoffs.
But would you say that would favour us being at home than West Ham having to play away at 12:30?
Not particularly in this game, just because West Ham are a London team as well. So, you know, they're not really making a massive journey. I think it'd be the same for both sides. I just don't personally like 12:30 kickoffs, but it is what it is. I do think we should have more than enough to beat them. I'm expecting Spurs to win, but you never know with West Ham. They have quite a good record against us over recent years. But Spurs at home, I'm expecting 3 points.
So if we have a look at some of their new signings they brought in under the new manager,
Yeah,
they brought Max Kilman in from Wolves, good player.
yeah,
I've always
good
liked
solid
him.
defender. Yeah,
They brought in Talibo, who we were linked to a couple of seasons back. They've got Wan-Bissaka from Man U in there now. Definitely kind of a West Ham type of player for me. Then they signed this Argentinian midfielder called Rodriguez. Can't say I know much about him, but he seems to be in the lineup most weeks. And then you've got the familiar faces of players like Paqueta, Souček, Kudos, Bowen, and Antony up front. So they signed a German striker in the summer who played in the Euros. I don't know if you remember him, Nige, called Fulkirk.
Yeah,
He's got quite a
good
serious
player.
injury, Achilles injury, so he's going to be out for some time. So
Okay.
other than the defence, maybe one in the midfield, it's pretty much similar West Ham that we know. And on the bench, they signed that young player from Leeds, Somerville. Nothing really that exciting on West Ham's bench. If you have a look at them in the last, since the season started, they haven't got a massively strong squad. And they haven't started well. They haven't. I think they lost the first game of the season to Aston Villa at home. Who did they play after that? I think they had a good result at Palace. I think it was 2-0, which was a good result. And then after Palace, they had Man City come to their ground, and Man City beat them 3-1. I think it was a
3-1,
Haaland
yeah.
hat-trick.
Yeah.
Then they drew away to Fulham, Fulham started really well this season. So it's not
Side, yeah.
They got thrashed against Chelsea 3-0. I remember there was a player playing for West Ham that day who had an absolute shocker. I can't remember which. I think it was on the left. But yeah, terrible performance, and Chelsea just kept on getting in. Then they got battered in the cup, taken apart by Liverpool 5-1 at Anfield. Went to Brentford, got a point. Again, respectable result. Yeah. Then they thrashed Ipswich. So when I explain those results to people in the chat, Nige, yourself, look, they haven't started well, but they've had some tricky fixtures and they have got some results.
Yeah, like I say, their away form has actually been half decent. Bar the thrashing they got at Anfield in the Carabao Cup, but you can't really count that. It was a cup game. Both teams rested players. But yeah, I think West Ham have got a very workmanlike side. I like Wan-Bissaka, who's a good defender. Talibo, I'm not overly sure on. I think he was maybe had his best years were behind him. But yeah, I think West Ham are a decent side. I didn't realise Falkirk was injured. I thought he was fit. So yeah, the fact that he's injured is a good thing. But yeah, they've had some good results and they've had some bad results. They have played, some tough games. They've had City, obviously Chelsea. So they've had some tough games. They got some good points away from home. And
Fulham
Saturday
away.
will be
A good point, Nige. And
Fulham
Brentford.
are playing, yeah, both of them playing decent football. So London derbies, they're not doing too badly, apart from the Chelsea game. But as West Ham, you just never know what kind of West Ham are going to turn up. They're going to be better than they have been this season, I would suspect. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting game. But I still expect Spurs to win.
Yeah. Well, we should be winning that game. If you look at kind of the stats, how we played this season, possession, chances created, we beat them hands down in every area in the performance wise. The trouble is, Nige, is that West Ham have got a very, very experienced manager in Lopetegui. He is, although he hasn't started well for West Ham, he is a good manager. He's won things. He can do tactical. He's a tactical man. When he was managing Wolves, and I think we played them, I think they beat us under him, if you remember.
Yeah.
So he's no fool. He's going to come into this game with a plan. Can West Ham's players deliver that plan? Well, we'll have to wait and see. But I think most managers managing West Ham will probably take the sensible option, sit back and play on the counter. West Ham have got some good forwards. Bowen, Kudos, dangerous players, and they can cause us trouble. Paqueta as well is a talented player. So, and I look at their back line, and I think that's pretty strong. It's a pretty solid back line. Goalie's okay, nothing spectacular. But I just think it's one of those games where it could be a banana skin. It really could do. If we're not taking our chances and if we're not, going in, like we play in high press, creating chances, putting them away, Have you done any preparation about team news, Nige, today? Do you know who's fit, who's back?
I haven't yet. No, just because it's so early in the week.
Shall I give you an
But I
update on
think,
it?
yeah, I think Sonny's supposed to be back, isn't he?
So Sonny's supposed to be back in training
Yeah,
this week. He's not confirmed if he's going to be available. Richarlison's not going to be available. Wilson's come back to training early, but I think it's probably too soon.
yeah.
So it's going to be pretty much the same. There was an injury scare for Johnson. He got taken off playing for Wales the other night. Did you see that?
Yeah, I did. I think he's okay though, from what I've heard. It's not too
Okay.
serious, so I'm expecting him to be fit for Saturday. Um,
And
Again, we
Lucas
don't know yet.
Bergwall took a knock as well.
Yeah, yeah.
So he's a doubt. And the only player for West Ham who's missing is Falkirk. Other than that, they've got a fully fit squad.
Hmm. It's going to be an interesting game. When you look at West Ham strike force, you look at Bar Antonio, who who wouldn't get in the Spurs side. You look at Bowen, you look at Kudos. I'd take them both in the Spurs team.
Oh,
You know,
100%.
I think
100%.
they're both really good players. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting game for sure. I'm looking forward to it. Can't come soon enough. It's been a long 9 or 10 days since that Brighton defeat, and yeah, I can't wait to get Spurs playing again.
Do you want to touch on the predictive lineups?
Um, yeah, you can. Yeah, I mean, I think Spurs are going to start pretty much as expected. I think the back five will be their back five. You know, Vicario, Porro, Romero, Van der Ven, and Udogi. I would expect Bentancur to start. I haven't heard anything about his ban, so I'm guessing he'll play alongside Kulu and Madison, and I would think it would be Johnson, Solanke, and Werner, unless Son is fit.
Big up, Mark. Hope you're good, mate.
Mark,
I hope Werner doesn't start. Even a
he's
half-fit
gonna,
Son I'd play.
he's
Wouldn't
gonna.
you, Nige?
Oh, yeah. I mean, but
Or
he's
Mikey
gonna,
Moore.
you know.
Or Mikey Moore. Anyone other than Werner, please. It's like playing with 10
Yeah,
men, Nige. You've got to be honest. He lets us down.
it's a struggle, but I just can't see. I can't see more starting, and I don't think it's like you said. I don't think Sonny's quite going to be ready enough. I think he might be on the bench. I don't think he'll start. He might do. He might surprise us all and start. But I think it will be Werner on the left. But I still think that team's enough to get 3 points.
How do you think we're going to get on against the low block?
Um, I actually think we'll be fine. I think we've been a lot better against the low block since Kulu's moved into the middle. I think we've
I
got a
agree.
little bit more creativity now, and we move the ball a bit faster. I think that's the key for me, moving the ball fast. If we are lethargic, and this is my concern about kicking off at 12:30, if we're lethargic and the passing slow and we're going backwards and sideways, we need to, this is a London derby. West Ham are going to be up for it. They're going to be in our faces. We need to get in that ball, passing it quick, lots of movement. If we start slow, that's a concern for me. So yeah, it's all about starting quick passing, and not letting West Ham get into shape or just pulling them about and hopefully creating chances. And I think we will. I think we will Saturday. I don't know what you think.
Yeah, I think we'll create chances. If we're clinical, that's another question. I have my doubts. It would be great if we could just blow them away in the first half and then just have a relaxing rest of the second half. That would be great. That would be ideal, but it's
Yeah.
just not going to go that way. West Ham are going to fight. They're going to fight. It's a derby. They're not going to roll over.
No.
Have we got a better team than West Ham overall? Of course we do. But West Ham are always going to be in that game if we don't get a couple of goals up. They're going to catch us on the counter. And they've done it last season. They've done it the season before. Do you know that we've lost the last 2 home games against West Ham? So if they win on Saturday, that's 3 in a row. That's quite embarrassing, Nige, isn't it?
Yeah, I didn't realise we'd lost the last 2. And obviously I knew we lost last season, but yeah, it's a weird one for me because I even go to last season and it was a game where I still scratch my head and think, how do we lose that game? Because we created so much, and we just didn't take our chance. It's the story of Spurs, isn't it? It's the story since Ange has been in charge. We create a lot. We're not clinical enough, but hopefully, Johnson's got 7 and 7. I'll be expecting him to get on the score sheet. Solanke, he's scoring goals, not many, but if he can get in the right, it's all about like I say, moving the ball quick. We can get crosses into him. I feel a bit sorry for Solanke at the moment. He's not getting a lot of service. So we need to get the ball out wide, get those balls in the box. And Solanke needs to be attacking them. And, I think if we can do that, we get Madison on the ball, Kulu on the ball, I think we'd be absolutely fine.
Kulusevski had a good, I heard he's had a good couple of games for Sweden. He's the captain there now.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's been playing well. So yeah, looking forward to seeing him again. Look, Nige, it's a game where we should be winning. There's no excuse for me. Ange, over the last couple of weeks, must have taken a good hard look at himself after that Brighton performance. When he just let it all happen in front of his eyes and didn't make any changes or tactical adjustments. I mean, it must have been a tough week for Ange, Nige, after that result. It really must have.
You know what?
A lot of self-reflection.
I think, in the grand scheme of things going forward, as much as it hurt at the time, losing a game like that might actually do us more favours, if that makes sense. Like you say, Ange will have a good hard look at himself, have a good hard look at the players, who he can trust, who he can't. And going forward long term, that defeat may do us some good. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? Did you want to move on to Ange and the team now, or did you want to take the show somewhere else?
Well, you wanted to talk about Levy, did you? Or do you
I
want to
think
do
we'll
that
leave
later?
that to the end. Do you want to talk about the inconsistencies of Spurs,
Yeah,
or
yeah,
should
yeah.
we,
Go
should
for it.
we do it now? Should we put a
Yeah,
question into the chat?
yeah,
Yeah. Okay, let me do it.
yeah. I mean, inconsistency is a major concern. While Dan's putting the question in the chat, please please subscribe. It really does mean the world. And get over to Dan's channel, subscribe to him too. He works really hard doing these videos and putting his TikToks out. And if you haven't seen him on TikTok, get over to TikTok and see him and follow him because his TikToks are fantastic. I got TikTok jealousy because I can't do them as well.
Nigel, you're getting better.
I'm
Honestly, you
trying.
are
I'm trying.
following the trend.
Yeah,
But
I'm trying my best.
trial and error. It's just
Yeah,
good fun. It's good fun, really, doing the TikToks. It's just, yeah, I like it. I like putting the music into the TikToks as well. It's just all a bit of fun.
that's it. But no, the for me the inconsistency is it's just what we do, isn't it? It's Spurs. We are constantly inconsistent, and this is the concern. We win 3 in a row. We think we're back on track. Everything's great. Ange is going to win us the league. I'm being sarcastic, and then we lose 2, and we're back to square one. So yeah, for me is a major problem. Hey, Philly.
Big up, Phil.
But yeah, what do you think?
But this is the challenge, isn't it? This is the challenge for Ange and this team, is to beat that inconsistency. Now, I don't know if you saw my video after we did our show last week, Nige. Can you remember it? When I was sitting in the
You've
car,
had so many. Yeah. Oh yes. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
sitting in the car having a bit of a moan.
Yeah.
Do you
I
remember what I
saw.
said?
I can't. But it was. Yeah. I was like, oh man, he's not happy.
Look, uh, after that show with Brian last week, I just thought, look, all my focus now is on the cups. It really is. I've
Yeah.
got no hope in that league for us to have any inconsistency in the team. The results, we win two, then lose, then draw, win again, lose. I just can't see this team finding some consistent form. I said in that video, and I'm going to stand by it. Even if we win against West Ham, I'm not looking at that league table. I'm not interested in it. It's not going to tell me anything. The only way I'm going to look at that league table is after if we win 5 in a row, and then I might have a look, because it's just pointless. We're just floundering around in mid-table. We might push up a little bit in the league, maybe 8th, maybe 7th at a push. But yeah, so all my focus is going on in the cups now. That's my last hope. And I'm not convinced we'll win that either, but we're still in it. You never know, we could have a chance. So when we talk about inconsistencies, that's the biggest issue, isn't it, really, for Ange, alongside his lack of adaptability, his game management. There's a number of things we could say. What do you think, Nige? Is that fair from me, or would you like to challenge
Um.
it?
Oh, I'd love to challenge it, but I kind of agree. It's we are very much and this is not even necessarily an Ange thing. This is we've always Tottenham are just inconsistent. Is what we've always been. Apart from a couple of years under Poch, where we were consistent, we've always been inconsistent. Like I say, we win 3, everything's great, and then we lose a couple of games we shouldn't lose, and we're back to square one. And for me, the biggest reason why we're going to be so inconsistent this season, I said it at the start of the season. We play 38 games. It wouldn't surprise me if by the end of the season we've won 15, lost 15, drew 8, or whatever, because which we are just the way he plays. We play so open all the time that it is, and he said it himself. We're going to outscore teams. So how you can expect to be consistent when you're just playing that open all the time is beyond me. And like I said last week, it wouldn't surprise me if there was another game like last week again when we're 2 up and we lose 3-2, or we're 2-1 up, or we're 3-2 up, lose 4-3, because it is going to be one of those seasons where we just try and outscore teams. So I think we just got to knock consistency on the head. I think we just got to buckle in and accept that it's going to be a bumpy ride in the league. And like you say, I'm very much all going for cups now. I want to see a trophy at White Hart Lane. I want to see whoever's captain, whether it's Sonny or Madison or whoever at the time, lift the trophy up, because it has been just way too long.
Yeah, so Mark says this in the chat: mentality is king. If this is not right, then we will continue to be very in and out. And that's it.
Yeah.
That's it, isn't it? In a nutshell, what Mark said: mentality. And you can lead on from the inconsistencies to mentality. They kind of they come together, don't they?
Yeah, and it goes to mentality, it goes to inconsistency, and then it goes to the biggest one of all. And what we all talk about is the fact we have absolutely no leaders. Nobody on the pitch to lead this team. Nobody who rolls their sleeves up. You know, it's difficult because I look back at the time when I first started supporting Spurs, and we had players like Graham Roberts, Stevie Perryman. Great leaders. But the game's
Harry
changed
Maguire.
so much. Yeah, the game's changed so much that if Graham Roberts was playing for Spurs now, he wouldn't be in the team most weeks because he'd be suspended. So there's a different ways now of leading the team, different ways of being mentally strong. It's not just like back in the old days where you get a player would knock a player into row Z and say, hey, welcome to the game. It's just different now, and I don't quite know how you get those sorts of players with that sort of mentality, unless you buy players who have won stuff already, which we don't do.
If Nige, a question for you and people in the chat. If you look across the other better teams in the Premier League, and who out of those teams, who are their leaders? Let's start with Manchester City.
Well, they've got for me, they've got so many leaders in their team. Obviously Rodri's a big one, but even players like Kyle Walker, he's won everything. The keeper, De Bruyne, for different reasons. I just think they've got so many leaders in their team, and again, that's because mentally they've been there, they've done it, they've won everything. I mean,
Yeah, you're
Declan
right.
Rice at Arsenal, maybe.
Yeah, Declan Rice is a leader. He was the captain at West Ham, pulled them through many a match. He's definitely he is a leader, I think. Man City, you're right, Nigel. They've got so many of them, experienced players. A lot of players up for the fight when the going gets tough. Let's move on to Liverpool. They've got a few as well, haven't they?
Well, yeah, you only have to look at the keeper. You have to look at Virgil van Dijk. Trying to think of the Liverpool players now. But again, those two especially, you don't need a team full of them. You just need a couple of players who are going to be there to, shake the team up when
Salah,
things aren't going
Liverpool.
well. Yeah, he's a leader in his own way, isn't he? Like I say, you don't have to all be screaming and shouting. You play by the way you play. Ledney King was a good leader for Spurs just because of the way he played.
Yeah, so we talked about that. Arsenal, Man City, Liverpool, they have a few leaders. Then we look at what about Chelsea then? Who's their leader?
Oh, now you're asking. So I think Chelsea are slightly different. They're kind of similar to us in the fact that, they have a lot of young players. So I don't know about Chelsea. Can you name anyone Chelsea as a leader?
No, they're quite a young side, haven't they? Cole Palmer
Yeah,
leads by example.
these by example, yeah. But yeah, I don't know.
Just want to say big up to Sean. Hope you're good, buddy.
Mate.
Aston Villa, John McGinn.
Yeah, top player and a leader as well. So yeah, so many Premier League sides have at least one player in their side that you could say is a leader. And I actually look at the Spurs side, and I don't think Spurs have a single leader in the team. People will say Romero. I just don't think he is. I think he's not for me. Not for me. I don't know what you think about Romero being a leader.
I don't know about Romero at the moment. He's a bit of a letdown. He's all over the place. I think a lot of it's down to Ange's kind of tactics as well. Doesn't help, not concentrating on the defensive side of the game. He's allowed to roam anywhere, isn't he, Romero? He's allowed to just go up front if he wants, go on and run. He's all over the place. When he plays for Argentina, he's more stable. He's much more better defensively. But then I look at Argentina's side. Who's their leader at the moment? I can't say right now without actually looking through their team. But he's definitely a more solid player playing for Argentina. Obviously, Son. Look, Son has been around a long time for Spurs. He is a bit of a legend. You know, we've seen him lose it. Remember the time under Mourinho when he had a big fight with Lloris? He has got it in him. He has got a bit of fire in his belly at times. So is he a leader? He's our captain. A lot of people question him, say he's not a good enough captain. Maybe it's a bit harsh. Son again is a player who leads by example. So yeah, it's an interesting question. Interesting thing to think about. The leaders, lacking leaders. Not all the teams in the Premier League have them.
Right.
They don't, but it's a bit of a problem for us, I think. Could we assign somebody at the back in the summer who was a leader, a more of experienced centre back who could have come into this team and led by example? You know, you could say Brighton, Lewis Dunk. He's a bit of a leader. He played well the other day against us, didn't he? Got stuck in, shouting, organising. He's got a voice. I think with a leader, Nige, and people in the chat, they must have a good voice, and they must kind of hold respect to their teammates. You know, they've got to be seen as somebody who they respect, like Henderson for Liverpool. He wasn't the best player in the world, but he bloody worked hard, didn't he? And he never stopped.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and maybe like have a bit of a calmer head as well. You know, not be so. You know, I think for me the best leaders not only talk a good game, obviously play a good game, but are calm. And you know, this is why for me Romero is not a good leader, because he's not calm. He is rash. I think maybe someone like Porro, maybe in a couple of years, could become a bit more of a leader. But I certainly don't think we have any at the moment, and I think we should be looking to bring in at least one or two players either in January or the summer that can lead.
Yeah, I mean, let's round it back to where we are at with inconsistency, and ask the people in the chat. Does anybody have any idea how we can beat that inconsistent form? I mean, I can't see it myself. And as Nigel said, you know, for about 5 or 10 minutes ago, we're just so up and down. It's just the way we play, you know, trying to outscore teams, not concentrating at the back. It's not going to happen. We're not going to be able to win every game and outscore every team. It's impossible. So, and I just put it out there. It's a question that I need answers. Obviously, we will see in the next 4 or 5 games if there is any improvement in that inconsistent form. And the thing what throws it all as well is that we have these cup matches thrown in the middle. So then that may say, because like we had the 5 games, didn't we, Nige? We had the 5 games where we won 5 in a row, and that on paper looked good. But it's not really a true reflection, because if you look at the Premier League form, there was 2 wins against Brentford and Man United, looking for a third against Brighton. And if we had won that game against Brighton, that would have been the first time we'd won 3 in a row since the beginning of last season. And we failed the test. So again, we'll have to wait and see what will happen. Unless you have any other kind of talking points on that, Nige.
I mean, I'm happy to move on from it, but it is strange how, you know, and this is where like statistics and stats can get skewed a little bit. It's, you know, like you say, if we had won against Brighton, it would have been 6 wins in a row, 3 wins in a row in the Premier League. But actually, after we've now lost 3 of the last 5 Premier League games.
Yeah.
So, you know, it kind of turns on its head, doesn't it? That 1 defeat, you know, it could have been 3 wins out of 3 in the Premier League, and now it's 3 defeats and 5.
Nige, we're mid-table. We're 9th.
Yeah, and I think this is what we're going to be like this season. I think it will be win 3, lose 2, win a couple, draw a couple. And it is what it is. I think we just got to accept where we are, and yeah, hopefully go for a cup. But do you want to go to what do you want to go to next?
Ange? I think we've covered Ange enough. I always like to talk about Ange.
You do.
It's definitely a slot that we cannot forget, and we must come back to. Because Ange, for me, is on borrowed time. definitely.
Okay.
And I think if we continue mid-table, these ups and these downs, these wins, these defeats, draws, don't you think, Nige, and people in the chat, that Levy will pull the trigger? Because we've got to be at least competing near those European spots. Maybe it's a bit early now, but come to this December, November time, the game's coming thick and fast. You could see that top 6, 7 pull away from Spurs if we continue this inconsistent form. So, Nige, what do you think about that? And people in the chat.
I think I know what you're saying, and I think if the form continues, I think it will be difficult for Levy to ignore. But yeah, at the moment, I do think it's just a little bit too early. We're not even a quarter of the way into the season. I think I want to see it after 15 games, see where we are. But if the form is similar, if we've won 6, lost 6, then I think questions will be asked. But we're very much on a bit of a knife edge at the moment. If in that we could win our next 3 and everything's looking great, or like I say, if we were to lose against West Ham, which I don't think we will, suddenly it's 4 defeats and 6, and then suddenly people will start asking questions. So I think it's one we're just going to have to take game by game. I think it's going to be a season of ups and downs. I don't think he's in any danger at the moment, but I think if we get 15, 16 games in and we are still hovering 9th or 10th, I think we could be looking at a problem then.
I think what it is, Nige, as well, because I'm kind of looking last season as well. So I'm kind of seeing it as one rather than just seeing the first 7 games. I'm seeing what happened last season. I've seen this summer that we weakened our squad with experience and numbers. I've seen that's how we started this year. Yes, we got a very good result against Manchester United. That was a fantastic result. I just can't see the progression at the moment. I just don't think we have the strength in depth. I'm not seeing Ange do enough. And that game against Brighton was just said a lot to me. I don't know about you, Nige, but watching that all play out in that 20-minute spell, like we talked at the beginning of the stream about Thomas Tuchel, taking the England job. Would he have allowed that game state? I don't think so. Tuchel would have been ahead of the game. He would have been 2-3 steps ahead. He would have no way let that happen. So it's things like that what are concerning. But nice, let's have a look at the fixtures coming up, because in the Premier League, let's just have a look at it. I've got them up here. So after West Ham, we do have, and I know you covered this, Nige, on your on the video, didn't you? Was it the weekend?
Yeah.
You went over.
I think I did it on Sunday. Yeah.
It was an interesting one, that, and I think you came out with quite a lot of points, didn't you? I think
I was uber positive, which I was quite surprised at myself. But we got obviously West Ham, then we got Palace after, haven't we? And I can't see us losing that. I've forgotten who we got after that.
So I've got it here, Nige.
Yeah.
After Palace in the league, we have Aston Villa at home.
Yeah. I think I went for a draw in that game. I think we'll draw that.
Then we have Ipswich at home.
3 points.
And then Man City away.
No points. Yeah, so I think 10 points out of 10 points out of 15.
No points. No point.
No points. 10 points out of 15 is not a bad return. I think if we got that, I think I'd be happy. Anything less than that, though, and then I wouldn't be happy at all.
So they're not going to do my 5-game winning streak, then, are they, Nige? They're going to fight. They're going to fall in the last 5th game against Man City away. Close.
Yeah. Well, it may be the Villa game as well, but no. Listen, we got enough games there that we should win. And sprinkled in between them, we have the Europa League and then Man City again in the cup. So
big game. Big
Listen,
game, man.
it's a massive 6 weeks coming up for Spurs now. I think this could be make or break for Ange. I think he needs to get some of these results. I'm not expecting too much in the cup. I'm hopeful, but I think Man City are strong regardless. But I'm expecting us to win our Europa League games and most of our league games.
Nige, that Man City game,
Yeah,
for me, is so important. Really,
it's
really
massive.
important.
Yeah,
That's the game I want to win, and Man City are not going to go full strength. And
it's going to be
it's a
interesting
big
to see whether we
opportunity
do.
to get through. Would
Yeah,
you say, Nige?
like I
Sorry.
said, it'd be interesting to see whether we go strong, because if we don't, we could get an absolute battering. Because even Man City's third team are probably most of their players get into Spurs' first team. So, if Spurs go weak in that game, I think we need to play our strongest side. But with the fixtures coming thick and fast, and like you say, the squad's so thin, it's going to be interesting to see what Ange does and what he takes seriously. Because Levy's going to want him to take the league seriously before any cup games, because it's all about finishing as high as possible and getting as much money. I got a really bad feeling he's going to play a weakened side against City.
What? Ange is going to play a weakened side.
I think he will. Yeah, we got
Really?
Palace in the league. We've got Palace in the league, and then we've got Villa at the weekend in between the City game. I think that's right.
Do you really think that,
I just,
Nige? I don't think so. I think he's going to go strong.
I just think Levy, the club want league. Finish sixth and go out of the go out of the League Cup, or finish seventh and win the League Cup. For the fans, brilliant.
Even this
There's only
early,
300.
Nige. Even this early. Maybe later on in the season when it gets to crunch time. Do you think he would
I think
actually start dropping players now this early?
I just got a feeling. Yeah, I got a feel. Listen, I don't think he'll play a really weak side, but I think he'll mix and match it. And I think it wouldn't surprise me if someone like Madison didn't play,
Ooh.
or Son didn't play. You put a couple of youngsters in there. Basuma didn't play and Gray plays in this place, or Porro doesn't play and Gray plays. Just wouldn't surprise me if he makes 3 or 4 changes, brings some of the youngsters in. I hope not, but it wouldn't surprise me.
Well, we'll see, won't we? We will see.
We will.
Massive game coming up against City. It's not far now, is that, Nige? What's that? 2 weeks? Just under 2 weeks
Something,
away, end of the month.
something like that. Mm.
Wow, 30th of October.
Yeah,
exactly 2 weeks.
yeah, big
So
one.
yeah, man. Look, just to tie up Ange, anything more you want to say about him? I mean, for me, he's got so much to prove, so much. Every week goes by. There's always something that disappoints me with him. Not just his kind of how he sets the team out and the kind of the game management, but also his comments as well after matches, especially when it doesn't go to plan. I mean, the comments he made after that Brighton game was just a joke, wasn't it? Absolute joke, saying that there was no point making us up because the team didn't seem to have the right attitude anyway. Why would anybody want to lose points? It's just such a strange thing to say, Nige. And that word strange, I'm using quite a lot when it's to do with Ange, because he is continuing. It's getting to the point, Nige, that it's becoming a bit of a joke, his comments. It's like, what's he going to say next? What's he going to say to wind up everyone next? Do you know what I mean, Nige? It's kind of getting a bit like that. It's like a bit of a kind of running joke. And I'll tell you one thing, Nige. I've been listening to a lot of rivals talk about Ange, speaking to other fans. They think he is a one-trick pony. They do. They think he's not serious. And what do you think about that, Nige?
I mean, yeah. I don't know. I kind of agree. I like Ange, but I do think he's out of his depth. I don't
Yeah,
want to go full. I don't want to go full Ange out yet, but I am.
no.
I am on the train. I've bought the ticket and I'm waiting for the train to come. I think that's where I am with Ange. Um, yeah, for me, the Brighton game annoyed the hell out of me. Don't just stand there, make changes, do something. We are getting a paste in here, we're getting a batter and do something. And the fact that he didn't, and with everything he said afterwards, was disappointing. But like it could all change over the next couple of games, and suddenly, things could look better again. But I'm definitely very much in the position where I don't think he's for me. I don't think he's for me. I don't think he's the answer. But I'm just going to see it play out. I'm not going to be shouting and screaming for his head. I'm just going to see it play out. But for me, I want someone who's just prepared to change things and change tactics and look at the game we got and pick the side according to the game we got instead of just playing the same way every time, regardless. And if we're 2 up in a game, maybe just for 10 minutes in the second half, just be like, let's just keep it tight. Let's
Keep
not
the
do
ball,
anything
Nige.
stupid.
Just keep the ball. Keep
Yeah,
possession.
yeah. Or let's sit back 10. Let's just soak it up for 10 minutes because they're going to come at us strong and not just be just
The dark arts, Nige. The dark arts.
yeah,
He-
exactly. The dark arts, do what you need to do to win. Don't just come out by saying we're just going to outscore teams and let's keep it open. It's the way we like it. No, let's not keep it open. Let's win the game. And yeah, I think we're gonna be fine at home most of the season. It's the away games I think he's got to learn to manage better.
Yeah.
Hopefully, that defeat might actually have knocked a bit of sense into him,
Oh,
but we'll
you
see.
can only hope. You can only hope and pray. You really
Exactly.
can, because it's only going to end one way. Now, the thing is with this game, West Ham, it's a game we could win, and we probably will. It's games like that. That's not going to impress me. It's when we go away to anybody decent or play any of the better teams at home. They're the results. They're the games I'm really going to be looking at to see what Ange does. He got a great result against Man U, so fair play to him. That was good. But yeah, it's the games like against City coming up in the cup, going to play Villa. These are the games where I want to see Ange. And if the game is not going to plan and we haven't blown the team away in the first half an hour, then what's he going to do? Is he going to mix it up? Is he going to adjust? Is he going to change things? Is he going to counter whatever the opposition manager do? These are the sort of things I'm going to be looking at over the next 5, 6, 7 games to see if Ange is learning. And look, a lot of focus is on Ange, but there's the players as well. We haven't really focused on the players, Nige. We've kind of been letting them get away with it a bit. Just quickly, do you think we need to talk about the players as well? Because some of them as well have kind of gone missing.
Yeah, I think they need to take a bit of responsibility for what happened against Brighton. The only thing I'm going to say is, it was 45 minutes of football. They 100% let the club down, as did Ange. But let's just put it right. Let's just put it right Saturday, and put it right going forward. And like you said earlier, it's not about one game now. It's about 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let's play the next 10 games and win 7 of them.
Yeah,
And then suddenly, okay, then we can see some progression. Um, that's where I am with it. And yeah, absolutely, players need to take a bit of responsibility. But part of me feels like the manager wants them to play, they want them to play, and the players have to play that way. Confidence, and they're still expected to play that way. Then you know, I feel a bit for the players, but if we had leaders in the side, then you'd have people on the pitch saying, "No, okay, let's change this. Let's just drop 10, or let's do this. Let's do something different." It shouldn't always be left to the manager. So yeah, the players should take a bit of responsibility.
and cut the mistakes out as well, Nige. couple of silly mistakes, silly errors. They're creeping back in now, aren't they?
It's just sloppy, isn't it? Just almost like they lose concentration. And I think that's what it was against. I really actually think that's what it was against Brighton. I think they come out second half. It was so easy in the first half for the most part, and I think they thought we've won this game. We just need to come out for the second half and we'll be fine. And I think they got a bit of a shock. And then, like I said last week, they couldn't then get back into gear. And before they know it, they're 3-2 down.
It's fine. Okay, well, I think we've wrapped up the Ange talk for now. And
We said this was gonna be light-hearted.
No,
Let's do a light-hearted streak.
we can't not talk about these things because it irritates me. It irritates me throughout the week. It just drops into my mind when I talk to other people about Spurs, other fans from other clubs. I don't speak well of us. I don't. I was speaking to a Chelsea fan at the weekend, and I hate not speaking well of my club, but I'm finding it really hard to find that kind of hope that Ange is going to turn it around. I've kind of lost a lot of respect for Ange this season. There's a lot. It's not just Ange, it's Levy. It's a long conversation to have. And throughout the week, we see it on social media. We watch YouTube channels. There's so much chat about it, isn't there? Even in this two-week international break, it's always rearing its ugly head. We had the thing with Paul Gascoigne yesterday. I don't know, Nige, if you wanted to touch on that. Absolutely disgusting how much they want to charge him for a ticket. £400. I mean, what is going on? And remember before that, Nige, as well, there was somebody, it was a club legend, asked for a book sale, wasn't it? David Pleat, wasn't it?
Yeah.
We had that as well. And all these things, they keep coming up. And it just, all of it together, I just don't know what's going on with this club anymore. It is just, I know, I'm sorry, it sounds depressing, guys who's watching or listening in. It's just what it is at the moment. I'm just struggling to find that hope, and that kind of. I want to get behind something. I really do, but Ange and the players, they need to show a hell of a lot more to get me back on board.
I think for me, it's what's disappointing is when it's not Tottenham, when it's not the team, when it's not ex-players, ex-managers or something. Spurs, and Levy, it's fantastic. Look at the show he put on for the American football at the weekend. Absolutely brilliant. Amazing show. The concerts, the boxing, the go-karts, whatever. All really fantastic. Brilliant for the club. But when it comes to the players, when it comes to the team, when it comes to the manager and ex-players, ex-managers, I just feel like Levy just doesn't really give a toss, if I'm honest. He almost like, and the fans especially, he is the Jamie Carragher of chairman. He scores so many own goals, doesn't he, with his decisions that he makes. He, the the ticket pricing, the OAPs, the fact that they're being, they're now having to pay and they're losing their seats and everything. It's just when it comes to the team and the players, Levy just hasn't got a clue. And I'm not a massive Levy out kind of guy. I'm very much better the devil, if we can get a better chairman, fantastic. But I want to see this club survive, and I don't just want to bring anyone in that bankrolls the club and then bankrupts us. So as far as Levy goes, sometimes it is better the devil, but I just think he is hopeless when it comes to team, anything to do with
It's
the
the
team.
bottom of his list, Nige. Building a top team is the bottom.
Yeah, it's all about how much money you can make, and there's absolutely no doubt about that.
In a minute, that slide, Nige. Let's bring up that slide in a minute because that's where this is going to lead on to. Big up, Alex. Hope you're good, mate. Mark has said as well, Nige, you're spot on. He is. Nige, you are spot on with what you said.
Right, I've got to find this slide a sec. Might take me a while.
It's gone
Keep
all
talking.
around social media the last couple of days. I'm sure
Oh,
everybody's seen it.
is this the most successful clubs?
Yeah, but we need to talk about this because it's what we're talking about. It's going to lead on to it.
Okay, I will get it in the book.
I think it's the last slide on there.
Yeah, I'm bringing it up now. Can you see that?
Yeah, I can. I think everybody's seen it today. I'm sure they have on social media. People in the chat, just give us your thoughts on this. How did you feel when you saw this? For me, it brought a lot of anger. It did. Because if you could see that before Levy took over, we were winning trophies consistently. Since Levy's been in charge, City, Chelsea have overtaken us now in this league. But I mean, that's understandable because of the money they spent. But one trophy in Levy's, is it Nige 25 years, isn't it? Since he's been there.
One trophy in 24 years.
24 years, yeah. And that just shows you how we're falling away. It won't be long until Villa overtake us. They're only one trophy away. And I think Aston Villa are definitely on the up. I think they've got a better manager than us. I think they spend better than us. It won't be long until they take over us. Look, it's not good to read. I saw something on Sava's show yesterday in the fan show, and I think he brought up some data about the cups, the amount of cups we won over the years in the years before Levy took over. And yeah, it's just sickening, isn't it? For anybody who can either kind of talk well of Levy and talk about, oh, look where he's taken the club. They're deluded, absolutely deluded. I don't want to hear about, oh, look at this stadium. Oh, you made a Champions League final. You've been a Champions League club. No, not having it. Not having it at all. Nige, what do you think?
So I've written some stuff down now because whereas I agree 100%, like I say, I'm quite happy for Levy to go tomorrow. What I will say is, so over the last 24 years, we have made 6 finals, of which we've won 1 and we've lost 5. Out of 5 we lost 2-1 to Blackburn in a game that we dominated and should have won. We drew 0-0 with Man United, lost on penalties. Another day we could have won. We lost 2-0 to Chelsea in a League Cup final. In a game, again, I thought we played quite well in, but Chelsea were Chelsea then. Obviously lost 2-0 to Liverpool in the Champions League in a game that could have gone either way, and we were kind of done in the first minute with a dodgy penalty. The only final that actually I put on Levy is the Man City defeat when we lost 1-0 when he sacked Mourinho a week before the final. And we didn't deserve it. It's the most one-sided 1-0 final you're ever going to see. But just to go back on that, so pre-ENIC, and I did it on so ENIC took over late 2000. So I did it 24 years, obviously, up till now. And then I took it back 24 years. So I took it to 2000 to 1976. And in those years, we reached 7 finals. So we reached 1 more final in those years. But we won 5 and lost 2. But if you look at the 5, I'll stop waffling a minute. You look at the 5 we won.
No, you're making sense.
You look at the 5 we won. We beat Man City 3-2 in a game that could have gone either way. We beat QPR 1-0 in a really tight game. Hoddle wins it with a penalty. The 84 UEFA Cup final, we win on penalties. Again, could have gone either way. We lose to Coventry, obviously. We beat Forest in the final at 91 in a game we win with an OG in extra time. And arguably, any other game, Gascoigne would have been sent off in the first half because he did 2 absolutely mental tackles. So again, could have gone either way. And we beat Leicester 1-0 when Edinburgh got sent off for a tangle with Savage, and we score with the last kick of the game. And I know I've gone on a bit then, but what I'm trying to say is those 5 finals that we won, we could have easily lost 3 or 4 of them on a given day. It's all a final, really tight margins. And the games we lost under Levy, again, a couple of them we could have won, and it might be looking slightly different. Don't get me wrong. I want Levy out as well. But I'm just saying, 1 trophy in 24 years, yes, but we have had chances to win other trophies. And for whatever reason, we haven't. Don't get me wrong. There's been semi-finals and chances to win leagues and other times when Levy hasn't backed the manager. And like I say, that Man City final, sacking Mourinho. But I do think it's kind of like, there are thin margins between winning and losing. And we have had chances to win trophies. We just haven't taken them. God, I sound like Sean Butler.
Do you
Yay,
believe?
Levy.
I get what you're saying, Nige. Do you believe that has some, what you've said there? Do you actually believe that is an actual thing, or are you just saying it because you're just reading out the actual stats and results? Do you agree that people are maybe being too harsh?
I don't think they're being too harsh on. Listen, Levy's not done enough for the club, for the team. There's absolutely no doubt about that. The only thing that doesn't get my goat, but it just makes me think, is that when people say 1 trophy in 24 years, yes, we have won 1 trophy in 24 years. But if you actually look at the stats and you look at the previous 24 years, we've reached the same amount of finals apart from 1. We just haven't won them, and you can blame that on not having a good enough players at the times, or you can just blame that on just being unlucky on the day. And I think, like I say, you look at the cup finals before Enoch come in, and we won 5 of them, but we could have lost 3 of them easily. Easily.
Look, sorry, Nige, you did build a good case.
And I blew it.
No, look, you made some good points, but no, I'm not having it. Overall, Levy has let us down. Year in, year
It
out.
has, yeah.
Not backing the managers, sacking managers, hiring managers, no planning, recruitment shocking. Then look at, Alex comment here, just a bit of evidence. Played the same 11. Do you remember who Levy backed Pochettino with as squad players? Nkuku. Not Nkuku.
Oh, yeah, he was
Nkudu.
Is it?
Nkudu.
Yeah.
Who's the other one? There's another one as well.
I can't remember his name offhand.
He never
Oh,
really.
yeah, listen. No, he hasn't. He hasn't backed the managers like he should have.
He's always trying to save the money. Always trying to save the money. Redknapp. Let's look at Redknapp. He needed a couple of players, didn't he? In that, around Christmas time, January transfer window, we were near the top. He asked for, who was it now? There's 2 players.
I think it was it was Cahill, wasn't it?
Aguero, wasn't it, or Tevez? I can't remember which one, but
Tevez, I think, and Cahill.
And then he was given who?
He was given Saha and the New Zealand guy, whose name has gone out of my head. But Hazard and Tevez. Yeah.
And just time and time again. And I think those finals, and you can look at the one against Chelsea as well, when we lost. I think it was Mourinho we lost to. Who did they throw on in that second half to turn the game to keep? It was Hazard, wasn't it? They didn't. They had the squad depth. We didn't have anything. I think Pochettino had to play Son as a left wing back. Look, we can't excuse it. The evidence is there. We haven't got the trophies. You can't be that unlucky. Sorry, I can't. It can't be too much.
And I tell you what.
Go on. Sorry, Nige.
Yeah, was going to say, no, I was going to say, I'll tell you what's changed over the last, obviously from 76 to now, is that before Enoch, we got into a cup final. I knew we were going to win it. We got to a cup final, we were winning. I was amazed when we lost to Coventry
We
in
were
the
a
cup
cup
final.
team, Nige, then. We were a cup team.
Yeah.
We up until 91, we had won the FA Cup the most out of all the clubs in England.
Yeah. Yeah. Whereas now we get to a final, I don't think we've got a chance. I'm like, we ain't winning this, because it's all about mentality. Again, it goes back to mentality.
And slowly over those years since Levy has been in, the mentality has got worse and worse and worse. Yes, under Poch, it did get better, but we never got over the line. We haven't kicked this mentality issue out ever. You bring in managers like Mourinho, Conte, they're provided with players which are just not good enough to take us forward, and we fall. What's the point of bringing in a Conte or a Mourinho if you're not going to support them with decent players, top players? I mean, they took the jobs obviously because of the money. I get it, but they must have known deep down that this chairman was never really going to fully support them. But they're like, hey, let's take the money and run.
Absolutely. And, let's see what's going to happen, because, there's talk now that, Amanda Staveley's going to come in and buy a share. And that may be the start of it. Who knows? That could be the start of Levy maybe starting to relinquish and maybe selling
He's
up.
not, though, Nige.
I don't
He's
think
not
so.
going to give up the reins. Can you see Levy giving
Probably
up the
not.
reins to her?
Not currently, no. Not
No.
currently, but
No, it's just another way of him making more money, spend building another hotel. I don't.
yeah. Well, there's
Laughing, but I just
method
don't
in his
believe
madness.
it.
No, there's method in his madness. But if I'm starting to look at it, where if Levy's not going to spend the money, then maybe someone coming in and putting some money in will help us with the team.
Well, that'd be great.
I don't know how
That
much.
would be good, but I need to see it. I need to see it, Nige.
Yeah. No, I
need
agree.
to see that, because I don't believe it until I see it. Nige, let's go to some comments in the chat, because there's been some really interesting comments and I want to cover them. Are you okay with that?
Yeah, it's fine, mate.
So Philly says, get to a final is good, but what have Spurs done to get past that? When Liverpool got to the final and lost to Real Madrid, they went on and sold Coutinho and brought in Van Dijk and Alex. Prime example of a board backing their manager, seeing what the team needed and rectified that issue the following season. Alex Hazard and Tevez, do you remember Redknapp? He wanted Hazard. Do you remember that?
Hazard, yeah.
He wanted to take him, but Levy said no.
Well, the same with Grealish, wasn't it?
What's that?
Same with Grealish.
Yeah. Exactly the same thing. 5 million. That's all he wanted to spend on him. 5 million. Nelson, thanks, Billy. You reminded us earlier when we were having that discussion. Alex, imagine having Tevez for 5 seasons, as it would be equivalent to having 10 men and Rottweiler as a central striker. What a player he was, eh? I liked Tevez. Yeah, he had it all, didn't he? Very tenacious. Yeah. He scored goals. He fought for the team. Yeah, he was a great little player, wasn't he?
Mm.
Do you remember him, Nige, Tevez? Were you a fan?
Yeah, he was a good player. I mean, he played for West Ham, but no, he was a good player. Kind of player that gets you off your seat. Kind of player that would have actually been perfect for Spurs.
He went to Man U as well, didn't he? From West Ham.
Yeah, he's a good player. I know he went to City as well, didn't he? He's played for quite a few Premier League sides in the end.
Alex, if Levy feeds Amanda enough sugar lumps, he might entice her enough to pay 10 billion for just 10% of the club. This is what I mean. Like, it's just sort of laughing stock, isn't it? Like, no one's really taking this Amanda seriously. I've seen it on social media. People are saying, please, Amanda, please give us the money. Come on. Do you think Levy's going to let Amanda have any control of them, of the spending on signings? No chance.
About it, though, isn't there?
Computer says no. Exactly. Come on, man. We all got to wake up. It's just a distraction. It's a distraction to
Yeah.
us fans that, oh, maybe there's some investment coming in. Nah, not for me.
We're just going to have to see, aren't we? And, you know, hope that in the meantime we can get to a cup final somewhere this season. You know, I'm still hopeful that this season we're going to change our luck and bring a cup home.
No, listen, Nige, you have to bring it back to that. We're still in the cups. You never know.
Exactly.
You never know.
Exactly.
Miracles happen,
Exactly,
eh?
mate. They do. They do. Yes. But no, it's been a good stream. I've enjoyed it, mate.
Look, Nige, when we get into it, we get going. Bit slow at
Yeah.
the beginning, but look, once we start
It
talking
was.
about all these talking points, look, yeah, it is good fun. Tough times being a Spurs fan at the moment. You're living in hope. But
Yeah.
hey, there's another comment here from Alex. Let's have a look. The news about Amanda came out straight after the Brighton loss. Yeah, look, funny that, eh?
Yeah.
Funny
Yeah.
that. And Alex,
No,
again, always a
exactly.
good stream, guys. Cheers, Alex, man. Thanks for coming
Thanks,
and giving
man.
us a watch. We'll be back next week. But yeah, I'll let Nige talk about that in a minute.
I will indeed. Yes, we are back. We got a comment from Draven. You'll need a lever to get Levy out. We have to work out a way of winning something. Well, yeah, we have to work out a way of winning something with Levy because, like you say, I don't think he's going anywhere soon. We can only hope, but yeah, we will see. But next week we are back with Beyond the Lane, and we have a special guest joining us. Should we say who it is, or should we just leave it?
Leave it. Let the suspense
Okay.
go.
We have a special guest joining us next Tuesday. So make sure you join us. We will be putting the thumbnail up during the week. And yeah, we can't wait to talk all things Spurs next week. But yeah, thanks for joining me, Dan. It's been cracking as always.
Last comment of the night.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man, we're just an exercise in how to control a fan base. Absolutely true. True. Yes. But yeah, thanks for joining me, Dan.
Look, first of all, big up to everybody who's watched, everybody who's put their comments in tonight. It got a bit lively. I think in the end, Nice, don't you think? The passion came out of us, you know, supporting Spurs, wanting us to win. You look, there's a lot of sarcastic from me, especially, I think, Nige. But you made some excellent points throughout and brought up some real good talking points. It is really difficult to keep positive. And Nige, and I can see you are trying to think, what can we achieve? You know, the cups, yes, of course, but we will see. There's a lot more games to come, like we said last week, Nige. You know, since we did our stream, there hasn't been a game, has there, Nige? So there hasn't been anything.
We haven't no, we've not lost, so it's been nice.
And we're still in that kind of negative mindset, which hasn't helped. So, but
Yeah.
Nige, man, big you up, man. I really enjoyed tonight, and we'll be back.
We will be back next Tuesday. And yeah, please make sure everyone likes and subscribes, and also subscribes to Dan at the Spurs DANalyst. That would be much appreciated. Thank you very much. We will bring up another. Man, it's for the kids' next generation. My Spurs is gone. White Hart Lane. Yeah. Yeah. Sad now White Hart Lane's gone. But we will see you next Tuesday for Beyond the Lane and our very special guest. Thanks for joining us. And as always, stay positive, stay poised, and stay
Good night, guys.
Spurs.
Good night.